Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the porch. I am Deb, and I'm so glad you're here. A little crazy tonight, so I'm so glad you're here. So as you come on, say hello and let me know that you're here. Tonight we're coming on Tuesday night or Monday night instead of Tuesday. We are going to go out of town, and I just wanted to make sure that I was here and that we got this chat in because for me it is so important and it's so beautiful. So say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Tonight we're going to talk about different chairs, one porch, and a place to grow. And I think that this is beautiful. And this is going to be, you guys will be seeing this from time to time, a place to grow, a yard, the porch, and the door, the journey into your personal faith. And that's kind of where we're going to be going. We are defining, hello. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one having a crazy time because, like I said, it's just, day late and a dollar short, but that seems to be our life lately. But we've been defining the porch. We've been trying to figure out, I have been defining the porch. God has been just leading me and guiding me. And I want to thank Miss Wessa for praying for me every day. And she sends me a prayer every morning, praying for my health and praying for wisdom and guidance on the porch. And God is certainly answering prayers. And so I love this. If you can see the picture on here, the yard, the porch, the door. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight is because I just believe that there is so much more to the porch than what I had anticipated. And like I said, talking about Solomon's porch yesterday on our morning message and understanding that Jesus walked on the porch. This is not something that we're pulling out of our hat, that this is something that God put on our hearts. And as I'm defining that, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. And so there's so many things for us to get going on. So a place to grow. And this is kind of where we're coming from and what we're going to be looking into tonight. So on the porch it's a safe and the porch should be a very safe and a welcoming place for everybody. It's for real people in real lives to meet God. And that's really what the porch is about. And so we're going to come back to this, that little JPEG there. I just love that. I love the place to grow. I like how that comes in there. And so as we're going on and as you're coming on tonight, say hello in the comments. Let us know that you're here and let us know where you're coming from, because we have people from all over the country and so many new people. And I'm so glad that you're here. So if you're new on the porch is a very interactive, and especially our chats, our porch chats, they're interactive. We're going to ask questions, and I'm hoping that you can interact and you can answer some of the questions that we're asking. It's important for us to do that so we can absolutely grow together and learn to learn about each other too. I think that's important, that we kind of learn who we're with on the porch. And so I just am glad that you're all here. So a little bit about the porch: different chairs, one porch, and a place to grow. That's kind of where we're coming from with all of this stuff and where we're at tonight. So if you're here just coming on, say hello in the comments. But we all come with different stories. We all come with some of us come with a very strong faith, and some of us are tired and unsure in our faith. But all of us are welcome on the porch. And that's the one thing that I'm really excited about, that God's given us a space for everyone to feel welcome. On this porch, you don't have to change anything to belong. And that is a promise. Hi, Kathy. Nice having you here. And that really is a promise of the porch, is you don't have to change anything to belong here. And on this porch, you come as you are. And that is one thing. And you grow at your own pace. We're not telling you how to grow in your faith or what faith to believe or how to believe it, because each one of us come with different stories and different backgrounds. And it's a gentle place that is filled with hope and grace and healing and peace. And if you've been on that, oh my gosh, Brenda, hello from San Juan. Now I feel important. Look at that. Hello, my friend. Hopefully that sun is not too sunny for you. But like I said, so as we're talking about the porch and things and what I'm learning and what God's calling me to do. And like I said, I want to thank Miss Wessa for her daily prayers. Every morning she's sending me a prayer. She's praying for my health, my family, my the ministry, the porch, and she's praying for all of us to grow in our faith. And so with prayer warriors like Wessa, God is moving and God is speaking very loudly to in all of us. But I've been thinking a lot about growth lately. Not fast growth because I don't think it's fast. Not forced growth. Nothing. God is not pushing us to do anything, but real growth and who we are and who God is having us become. The kind that happens slowly and quietly and personally, very personally. Then I started to realize that, a lot of us struggle with whether we want faith. Most of us don't struggle, rather, with whether we want faith in our life. We struggle with where faith fits into our life, where God fits into our life, our experience, our heartbreaks, our questions, our doubts, all of this stuff. That's where we question. Not really if we want to have faith, but where it fits into our lives. Somewhere along the way, though, I think faith started feeling something a little bit more performed instead of something that we could grow into. For me, anyway, that's what's happened. But what is faith if it isn't a performance? What if it's a home? What if your faith is a home? Not a performance, not a place to be, but a place to grow. And I think, and I had to write some notes here because I think we picture it like this. And I want you to really think about this. A yard, okay? If we picture the yard, your life, and everything that shaped you, everything that shaped you. So this is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So remember, when we talk about the yard, we're going to talk about your life and everything that shaped you. We're going to be talking about the porch, where real life and real faith meet. That's what the porch is. And then we're going to talk about the door. Not rushed, not forced, but invited faith, where relationships deepen and where relationships happen. And that's really what I want to talk to you about tonight. Because as I've been studying and I've been learning and God's been growing and God's been defining, and it is beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now, I want you to picture this. I want you to picture a house. Not a perfect house, just a real house. Picture the yard out front, a place where life has happened. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. I want you to picture the yard in the front where you run barefoot, where you've fallen down, where you made memories, where you played in the sandbox with other people, maybe where the weeds grew in places in your garden that you didn't expect. Now picture the porch. Now picture a porch. You're not inside the house yet. You're not outside in the yard wandering. It's just that in-between space. It's covered, it's open. It's close enough to the door to see it, but you're not forced to go in. This is what God's calling us in our faith. And I want you to just keep this picture in your mind. You're not forced to come in. I've come to believe that our faith does look a lot like that house. Most of us struggle. Most of us don't struggle, rather, with whether God exists in our lives. We struggle where God fits into our faith. Our questions, our disappointments, our experiences, our doubts, all of this stuff come into question. And somewhere along the way, a lot of us are taught to skip the porch, to move straight from that yard where we experience life to that door where we're supposed to meet God. But real trust doesn't grow under pressure when we go from that yard to the door. It grows in the in-between on the porch. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. Faith as a home, a yard, a porch. and a door that's always an invitation. It's never demanded. God's not demanding a relationship with you. He's inviting you into a relationship. And that's what the porch is all about. The yard is where people live spiritually. That's where many people, many people live spiritually, is in that yard. Maybe they have where faith feels different, where faith feels distance. Maybe they've been hurt by the church. Doubt feels louder than belief in the yard. People feel unsure if they're even qualified to come to the porch or even get to the door at any time in their life. And I have a question, and I want to answer it if you can. Have you ever stayed in the yard of something because you weren't sure that you were welcome inside? You weren't welcome in that church. You weren't welcome in that place. You weren't welcome in that space that you knew God was calling you to go to, but you weren't quite ready for it. You weren't quite ready for the door. Have you ever stayed in the yard of something? Have you ever stayed someplace because you weren't sure if you were welcome in another? I think all of us have at some point stayed in that yard. And then I'm just wondering if you have stayed in that yard, if you stayed there and you're wondering, have you ever felt like you were close to faith, but you weren't really in, that you really didn't understand it, that you weren't for sure exactly what God was asking you to do, that you weren't exactly sure if it was God that was asking you to do it or if it was your brain or the outside forces? You were close to your faith, but you just weren't fully in. I've been there. I've been there a lot. I feel like I'm close to God, but then there are days it's like, man, do I really fit this mold? Am I really strong enough in my faith for God to trust me in what I'm doing? Have you ever had those questions? Have you ever had those doubts? Have you ever been close to faith, but not fully in? So inspired, and I want to go to some scripture here because this is inspired by Ephesians 2:19. You are no longer strangers standing outside. You are invited in. This is what God's been telling us. This is what God's been calling us to do. This is where God's saying, hey, come on. It's time to come to the porch. And as we go through and we live our lives and we do these things and we feel distance from God, we might feel like we're standing outside, but God's saying, nah, come on. You are invited in. You are invited in. And yeah, Rhonda, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way sometimes, that like we're not, I love God, never have questioned God or what God does, but sometimes I question my own faith. Is it strong enough? Is it spiritual enough? Is it enough? Period. We have those questions and it's okay. So part of it is that's the yard. The yard is that place where we experience life. We experience all of those hurts and those stories, and that's what we bring. But then we have the porch. The porch, we're not inside the house yet. We can see the door. It's that in-between space of life and the relationship that God's calling us to and inviting us to. It's that space where when we feel that we can sit carefully, we can sit freely. We don't have to be fully understood, and it's okay. We can ask our questions. We're not questioning God. It's a place to ask God questions. We can listen. We can breathe in this space in between that we're calling the porch. And the porch says you don't have to clean up before you sit down. That's not what the porch is about. The porch is where you realize that you don't have to perform here to stay. You don't have to be able to quote all scriptures before you can stay. You don't have to have all your faith. You don't have to have all the answers. The porch is a place to come to sit and to belong. It's a place to breathe. So the question here is, what makes a space feel safe enough to sit and stay for a while? In your faith, in your life? What makes a place feel safe for you? Now, for me, I know that it is something where I don't feel like an outsider. I don't feel like I'm in the margins and that I don't fit. It's a place where I feel like I belong. I can sit a while. I can stay a while. I can feel safe when I know people aren't judging me for what I don't know, or who I am, or how I look, or that that I was a woman and a pastor. It's all of these things that are there. This judgmental. My faith wasn't strong enough. I didn't know enough. All of these things. I feel a safe place, and that I can stay a while when I feel involved. Hey, cutie, how you doing? So, what makes you feel safe enough to sit and stay for a while? I want to answer that. Answer that in the thing. And then, as we go through here in your faith, in your life, in all of the wonderful things, we each come. It's a different chairs, same porch. So tonight, what kind of chair are you sitting right now in your faith? Are you sitting in a steady chair? Maybe it's a little shaky. Maybe it's a healing chair where you're just figuring out that you can sit and you can settle in and you can be safe. What kind of chair are you sitting in tonight? And I was thinking about this because what kind of chair am I sitting in? I think at times my chair is steady, but there's still part of it that has squeaks. And there's still pieces of my chair that need tweaking and that need tightening because it's shaky. That's my faith. I consistently go to God and I feel like I'm growing spiritually and closer to God and my relationship with Him every single day. But there are still pieces that feel shaky and unsteady. There's still pieces that are healing. And for me, it's healing from a lot of different things. It's healing from some relationships where I felt hurt and broken. It's healing from the church where I felt hurt and I almost feel broken. So my chair is a little different. What about your chair? What chair of faith are you sitting in? Yes, Roseanne, I love that. So Roseanne said she feels most welcome when somebody invites her in and takes your hand. Just come on. Come on, you can sit by me. Just bring up your chair. Pull up here. Sit here by me. Our chairs might look a little bit different. Our stories are going to be different. But you can sit by me. Let's share our stories. Let's share our experiences. Let's share our lives. And Rhonda, yeah, it depends sometimes on her chair. A little shake and a lot of times to steady. And I think that that's all of our faith. If we think we just got a steady faith and that's it, and oh my gosh, I want to meet you. If we are polished in our faith and we are ready to meet God at the door, I want to go through that next. I want to go to what the door is next. Because as we're going here and here, I want you to remember that this porch is the end place team, but the door where God wants to meet you. It's an invitation. It's not about pressure. It's an invitation. You don't get pushed through the door. God doesn't push you through the door. You need to choose to walk through that door. God's opening it. He's inviting you. And you need to choose to walk through that door on your own when you're ready. You don't have to be totally steady and you do not have to be polished. God's saying, come on to the door. I'll meet you there. I'll walk with you. I'll even walk through the door with you. But come on and meet me there. Roseanne said she has a sturdy chair. I love that. I love that. And so as we go through, and our chairs are all different, and we're bringing different chairs to the porch, we're bringing, people can see the door of God's love. The door isn't about pressure, like I said, it's about invitation. It really is. But the door represents trust, our trust in God. It represents surrender. We talked about that. It's about letting go. The door represents a deeper faith. It's not about a religion, it's about a relationship with God. It's meeting God spiritually, our spiritual insides with God's spiritual self. It's about a personal commitment. Hi, and a smile means a lot. Absolutely, absolutely. But the door also represents healing work. I want you to remember that. It doesn't mean when you see the door, when you can touch the door, when you're ready to go through the door, it means that you're healed. It means that you're on that journey and you're trusting God more. The door isn't about earning entry either. You don't earn entry. You choose that relationship yourself. I can't choose it for you. No one else can choose it for you. Your mama can't choose that door for you. You have to choose to walk through that door of faith by yourself. Because what you experienced out in the yard, with all your life stories, with all your hurts and your pains and your storms, and all your joys and your love and your compassion, and in that middle place is the porch where we grow and we learn and we share our stories, and we just, as we're doing this, as we're walking together, and as we're coming to life, meeting on the porch. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Tina. It's nice having you guys here. But once again, I want to ask the question, what do you think keeps people from walking through the door that God is opening for them, that He's putting in front of them? Is it their stories? Is it fear? What is it that keeps people from walking through that door? Oh, Tina, I am so, so, so sorry. So we need to lift Peter up. Peter is Tina's husband. And guys, tonight, as we're praying for each other, lift Peter and Tina up in your prayers. He does have lung cancer and probably in his lymph nodes. We will be praying for the team of doctors. We'll be praying for everybody else. And as you guys walk this journey, know that God is standing at the door and say, come on, come on. It doesn't matter how steady or how sturdy your chair is. I'm going to walk this journey with you. God's speaking to you tonight, Miss Tina. And Peter, He's talking to you too. God is not going to let you go through this alone. He is not. So, and here we go. Roseanne said it's a place that you can ask questions and not be looked at like you're uneducated. Yes, that is the place that we want to be, where we feel most comfortable and we feel most safe. And you're right, Roseanne. It is absolutely a beautiful place to be. Yeah, and past experiences. And here, people don't walk through the door because they don't think they're good enough to be judged. And Tina said they don't walk through the door because of past experiences. These are all perfect. And you guys, as we're going through life, and we are afraid to walk through that door because we don't know enough, because it's not that we don't have faith, but maybe we just don't trust God enough to do that. Oh, you are strong enough, my dear. You are so strong. It's not about that. It's about your life and your yard experiences and growing up in that front yard and the stories that you had. But Tina, you've got a lot of story to tell. You've had a lot of yard experiences. God's waiting there, and you have knocked at that door. You have walked through that door before. And now sometimes we have to go back to the porch, that in between place where we can ask questions, where we can feel safe, where we can feel secure, and we can feel loved. And we are going to personally be praying for Peter absolutely every single morning. So, guys, as we do our morning messages, help me remember each day to pray for Tina and Peter in this journey that he'll be walking. So as we go through and we know that there is so much that God is blessing us with, He's asking us to define. But I want you to remember, just because our chairs look different, we don't have the same stories, we don't have the same faith, we do not have the same experiences. There is one porch, and everybody is welcome on this porch. That's the safe space between that yard and our experiences and the chaos of life, and the door where we can meet God and fully trust Him and fully trust His guidance and His wisdom. It's hard to be there because we're human. It's hard to go there sometimes when we're experiencing pain and when we're experiencing things that we just don't understand. It's hard to be there. Yes, Tina, God is with us no matter where we're at, whether we're in the yard, whether we're in the in-between place on the porch, or whether we are at the door walking through. God is going to walk this journey with you. And remember, the door is not about pressure. It's an invitation. God's not going to push you through it. He's going to invite you in. And during this time and during some of the hardest places in our life, God is just standing at the door with His arms wide open, just waiting for us to surrender and to let go of all of the things that make us fearful, that make us scared, that hold us back from the invitation that He's giving us. So tonight, folks, I want to lift up Tina. I want to lift up Grace in our prayers because she will be having some surgeries. And I want to be lifting up a few other things too. We were going to make the journey to Mexico and do a little mission trip. We have decided that we are going to postpone that for now until things are a little safer and until we can understand where we're at in life. So it's okay. Um, but we all do come from different chairs. So if you guys have prayer requests, put them in the comments. I'm going to be on for just a couple more minutes. But prayers for our country. And so any other prayer requests, let's put them in those comments. I think it's a good way to end our time. Prayers for my friend Dawn, who is still recovering from her tumor and her surgeries. And like I said, I just love this image. This is something that I just love. The yard, the porch, the door. It's our journey into our personal faith. Your journey is going to be different than mine, and it is okay because your yard has looked different. Your porch has looked different. The door is going to be a different color to God's invitation to come to Him. We are all invited, but the door could look different. The porch could look different, and I know the yard looks different. Let's go to God. Like I said, if you have any prayer requests, put them in the comments and I'll come back to them. But let's go to God. God, we are here tonight and we thank you. We thank you for loving us. We thank you for meeting us at the door, God. Some of us are not even ready to leave the yard because we're just not for sure where our faith is. And God, that's okay. But God, tonight, invite them to at least the porch where they can explore their faith, where they can ask questions, where they can tell their stories, where they can start to heal and let go. So when they are ready to walk through that door and meet you, God, that they are fully ready, that their faith is strong and they know that you will never leave them and they trust you fully. Be with us, guide us, and lead us because, God, we all are sitting in chairs that are not completely sturdy. Some of them are shaky, some of them are broken down, and some of them rock. But, God, wherever we are, thank you for letting us bring our chair to the porch, our messes, our stories, our life. It's in your name we pray. And they all said, amen. And they all said, amen. So let's see here. We are, so Tina's prayer is that everyone has their own way to get in God's life when we get in God's way, life's troubles, and we try to control and handle it, we don't give it to God, and we don't take it back, and then you'll find peace. And that's really true. We always try to take it back. We give things to God, but then sometimes we think, oh, well, our way was better. But don't do that. If you're going to give things to God, leave them there. Trust what you can do. Trust His guidance. Trust His wisdom. Trust His grace. And you'll find that true peace in your life. And Rhonda says prayers for everyone, that we can learn to love instead of hate in this world. Absolutely. That is what the porch is. I think that that's really what God's calling us to the porch right now, guys. We live in a world that is so divided. The backyards are speaking loudly. Our stories are coming out. Our feelings, our compassion, our empathy sometimes are gone. Sometimes hatred speaks louder than peace. Sometimes that the world seems so divided and so ugly. And God said, hey, wait a minute. Come on. God's inviting us back to fully trust Him. And that's going to look different because God is love. God is peace. God is joy. God is the good things in life. And He created a world for us to live in with beauty. And when we want to experience God, we have to reconnect with that spirit that He put within us. Because that's where God is. God resides in us. He never leaves us. We just have to tap back into that sometimes and realize that we're really not alone. So Roseanne is asking for prayers for Marcia, that the doctors can make her her infection disappear. Many, many prayers for Marcia. Also prayers for Heather, who is also doing that. So as we go through, and Miranda says her chair ain't got no legs. Well, you know what? Sometimes our chairs have wheels or rockers, and God's still saying, bring your chair. Because it doesn't matter what chair you sit in. Just come on and join us. Because God's ready to open His arms and His door to you guys, no matter who you are, no matter where you're at, and no matter what you do. So whether your chair has wheels or no legs at all, whether it's crickety, rocky, or if it's just a porch chair, maybe it's a folding chair. Doesn't matter what your chair looks like. They're all your stories. It's your life. Bring your mess. Bring the ugly things, whatever it is that you have. Bring it to the porch. Bring it to God. We're not laughing at your chair. I just forgot about the ones with wheels. So, and Tina, I love this. I want to thank God. I do have peace. Tina, you have to be one of the strongest people I know. And I am privileged to call you my friend. And so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And like I said, we will be lifting you guys up in prayer. So know tonight that, you know what, as we're defining the porch, as we're relating it to our lives, the yard, the space in between, and the door, know that God is there with you tonight. He's not going to leave you. And I pray that you have one of the most amazing nights and that you can connect with God in a way that you've never connected before. If you haven't been following our daily reflections, the reason that I'm putting them out there is for you guys to grow in your faith, for you to reflect on who you are and whose you are, and reflect on your life. This is that place where we can meet God one-on-one on our own. And I'm hoping that they are making a difference in your life, because I know for me, it has been a joy to write those reflections, to experience those reflections for myself, and to really work on my faith through them. So hopefully you guys are enjoying them daily reflections. And if not, let me know if you haven't been able to catch them. So, but hugs and prayers right back to you, Miss Tina. So everybody have a great night. God bless. I hope to see you in the morning. Love you all.